The latest South Park parody has ignited a firestorm. In a jaw-dropping new fictional episode, the irreverent cartoon targeted none other than Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and no one was spared. The episode stirs up a scathing lampoon of a Sussexes' tumultuous Hollywood journey, zeroing in on the drama swirling around their lucrative Netflix deal and its backlash. Timing couldn't be better, or worse, for the royal renegades. Rumors are flying that the real-life 5-year, $100 million Netflix contract they signed in 2020 might not be renewed. According to insider reports, Netflix feels it's got all they can from the couple, and the Sussex shine has lost its sparkle. From hilariously cruel caricatures of Meghan and Harry desperately pitching Netflix show ideas, to outrageous fictional royal reactions, to the internet meme frenzy that followed, we've got all the juicy details. So get cozy, perhaps with some royalty teacup without handle, as we break down every scandalous moment of this parody episode and the wild fallout. Is this the final nail in the coffin for Meghan and Harry's Hollywood dreams? Let's dive in and find out. The episode Streaming Wars, Royal Crash, wastes no time before skewering the Sussexes. Scene by scene, here's what went down. Opening scene, Netflix or bust. The cartoon opens at Netflix headquarters in Los Gatos, where a caricatured Meghan and Harry arrive with dramatic flair. Meghan sporting a literal crown made of Netflix DVDs. In a painfully funny exchange, the execs ask what they actually plan to produce. Meghan triumphantly holds up a script that just says "our lives" again. The executive's cartoon jaws drop. One quips, "Didn't we already do that?" The boardroom scene ends with the Netflix bosses folding their arms, telling the pair that if they can't deliver something new and exciting, their deal is done. Meghan lets out a gasp worthy of a daytime soap. Harry literally drops a stack of dollar bills, eyes bulging. Next, the cartoon couple tries to film a cooking show segment as a nod to Meghan's real-life lifestyle cooking endeavors. It goes horribly wrong. In the kitchen, Meghan brags about her secret family roast chicken recipe, but the oven explodes with a puff of smoke spelling out lies. Harry, covered in soot, asks, "Is it supposed to do that?" An obvious jab at the couple's habit of revealing home truths that critics say are exaggerated. It's also a wink to the backlash against Meghan's recently launched lifestyle brand, with experts slamming it as shallow. Even in cartoon form, their ventures can't catch a break. The montage ends with Meghan and Harry on a street corner, performing a dramatic reenactment of their royal exit for a baffled crowd of tourists. Meghan sobs on cue as Harry holds a sign, "We'll tell all for $. Instead of applause, they get pelted with lettuce by onlookers. One bystander shouts, "We've heard that story 1,000,000 times," echoing real-life critics who groan that the Sussexes keep rehashing the same royal drama for profit. Burn. Fire. The book-beating gag. Recall that the actual South Park once lampooned his book title as whack. It's hard to overstate how brutal and over-the-top the satire is in this fictional episode. The show mercilessly caricatures Meghan as a fame-chasing diva and Harry as a clueless sidekick, both desperate to stay relevant. Every hot-button critique is woven in, from their plea for privacy while courting publicity to the flops and cancellations in their media ventures, to the accusation they've been dining out on royal drama one too many times. South Park essentially served the Sussexes their own royal roast on a silver platter, and the world ate it up. The episode ignited fierce debate. Detractors of Meghan and Harry were practically celebrating online, hailing South Park as a truth-teller. "They said what we've all been thinking," one user wrote, citing how the couple monetized their victim narrative. Another tweeted that hashtag South Park episode did more damage than any tabloid could. Memes comparing the Sussexes to previous South Park victims, remember the show's savage takes on celebrities, spread like wildfire. On the flip side, the Sussexes' loyal fans, sometimes dubbed the Sussex Squad, were outraged. They slammed the episode as cruel and baseless character assassination. Prominent fan accounts decried the show for punching down and recycling tabloid tropes. One fan tweeted, "Making fun of Harry's trauma and Meghan's career is just low. Have they not been through enough?" along with crying emojis and the hashtag boycott South Park. This in turn spurred others to counter with "It's called satire. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen." An especially apt phrase, given that literal kitchen explosion gag in the episode. Across Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit, the humor took on a life of its own. TikTokers remixed the scene of Harry at Buckingham's gates into parody music videos, setting it to songs like Umbrella because it was raining on him. The internet has no chill. One TikTok caption read, "When Netflix cancels your contract, so you run back to Dad, South Park said nope." Meanwhile, on Reddit, a post titled "South Park nuked the Sussexes, faced with tears of joy" hit the front page, with users listing every Easter egg and hidden joke they spotted. They even caught tiny details like a blink of an eye frame where Meghan's cartoon character's eyes turn into dollar signs when someone mentions a deal. Talk about attention to detail. Some Reddit sleuths pointed out that this kind of roasting is usually reserved for celebs whom the public is exasperated with, noting how the show portrayed the pair as having zero self-awareness. "This was a long time coming," one Redditor wrote. "Their hypocrisy needed a cartoon takedown." Others disagreed, arguing South Park went too far, making them into complete clowns. Beyond social media, even mainstream media, in our juicy fictional world, couldn't resist. Morning talk shows had segments debating the episode. One headline blared, "Royal Laughingstock, Cartoon Humiliation for Harry and Meg." Tabloids claimed Meghan was in tears and furious at being parroted again, while late-night comedians riffed that, when South Park turns you into a meme, it's pretty much game over. The sheer volume of memes and posts was evidence of how deeply the episode struck a chord. Love or hate the Sussexes, everyone had something to say about Cartoongate. It's worth noting that some defenders tried to rally a counter-narrative, insisting that South Park was being mean-spirited. But in the court of public opinion, or at least on Twitter, snark and laughter ruled the day. The hashtag Royal Roast trended, where users shared their favorite tongue-in-cheek moments. One meme even mashed up a real-life photo of Meghan and Harry with the South Park art style, joking, "Season finale, real Harry and Meghan moved to South Park." For a couple very concerned with controlling their image, this must have been social media hell. Now for the million-dollar question: how did Meghan and Harry themselves react to becoming primetime cartoon punchlines yet again? According to sources close to the Sussexes, and remember, this is gossip-grade intel, so sprinkle that salt. Private fury, public silence. Word is that Meghan Markle was not amused by the episode, to put it mildly. A close friend allegedly described her as furious and shaken after watching, or at least hearing about, the show's depiction of her. Meghan was said to be particularly upset about how she was drawn. The exaggerated smug facial expressions and dollar sign eyes hit a nerve, as did that Ghost Queen scene. Harry, on the other hand, reportedly tried to shrug it off at first with a "well, that's just how they see us, I guess" attitude. But even he was supposedly distressed by the portrayal of him as dim and spineless. The two were shell-shocked that the ridicule went that far, per an anonymous source. Publicly, however, the couple has maintained silence. Just as after the previous satire incident, they haven't released any statements condemning the show. And that's likely smart. PR experts have noted that lashing out would only prolong the story. In summary, the South Park episode might have been a satirical blip, but it highlighted real challenges for Meghan and Harry's Hollywood adventure. Losing, or struggling with, major deals, battling public fatigue, and controlling the narrative, these are serious issues dressed up in cartoon absurdity. The coming months and years will show if the Sussexes can turn it around. Will they emerge resilient, proving the naysayers and caricatures wrong? Or will this mark the beginning of a retreat from the limelight? For now, the immediate impact is clear. Everyone is talking about them again, albeit in a mocking tone. In the fame game, that's both a curse and a bizarre kind of blessing. It's up to Meghan and Harry to decide how to use that spotlight, even a harsh one, to their advantage if they can.